all to talk about this election that is going on, and some politicians from the eastern part of the country are using Mazen Namdekano's pictures for campaign. Unfortunately, that's quite condemnable. But what we're talking about this morning is the unification of the Igbo communities, the Igbo tribes. The re-engineering of our identity has come to a global, limelight. And is becoming very significant. And according to revelations, we are hearing that Ondo, part of Ondo, are also Biafrans, like the king of the Obi of Onitsha, made it very clearly that Ilefe, was actually founded by the Igbo people, before the infiltration started. So the truth is that they founded Ife, they founded the Idu kingdom, and these things are part of what we are fighting now. But if you look at how we got to where we are today, where the indigenous people are now beginning to deny their Igbo origin, to deny their Igbo identity, to signify a certain factor, that went as further to create Igbophobia within Nigeria and outside Nigeria, to the extent, a lot of people that don't know, there's a tribe in Ghana now that is called that Igbo tribe. They originated from there, So they came there, and they moved on. They established themselves there. That's the nature it is. But when you're talking about the indigenous people, the progenitors, where they are geographically, naturally located, the Igbos currently now are over 85 million in population, irrespective of what transpired in 1967, where over 10 million Igbos were actually killed. The restoration and the resurrection of our identity, has continued to spread among Western Igbos or Western Biafrans, or whatever you may call it. Before they used to tell you it's Midwest, all this fragmentation championed by the British government. But I'm happy now that irrespective of what we are seeing today, where a court in Canada has declared PDP and APC as a terrorist organization. And we have a Southerner too, under Goodluck Jonathan, who participated. Let us believe that Jonathan did not know, or he knew that PDP and APC are just a terrorist organization, political terrorist organization, are used by the Fulani to impose political conquest on the people of Biafra, because that has always been the target. That is what the British government, the British system, actually want to see. They never fought for conquest for any tribe in Nigeria apart from the Igbo. The Igbo resisted it. That's the Ekumeku movement. They defended the Jaws. The Ekumeku movement defended the Jaws, defended the Robos, the Sekiris, the Midwesterners, to the extent of the Idu kingdom. There was no issues about that. But we cannot, because of this, not knowing fully well that these people actually came and certain things were being done, not to the detriment of ourselves. You are giving us the impression, you are giving our people who want an Igbo extermination from the surface of the earth, the impression that the Igbos, and it has a multiplying effect. When Chukwumanzogu, who is from a western part, the so-called Midwest, Western Igbo, from Delta State, it took the life of over 10 million people. The Igbo took it upon himself that he needed to defend himself. He needed to defend irrespective of where they are, who they are. The British, was able to impose some level of, fraternity with other people to connive and give them a certain impression that they are not Igbos. These are people we are talking about, and they are everywhere. You know, they are championing their own cause directly. The impression is ongoing, and the resistance is also ongoing. When I look at the likes of Asari Dokubon and the rest of them who came from that region, and I begin to ask questions, the Adakaboros who fought for the liberation of his own people, who died on the Nigerian side. He fought for his own people, but he died on the Nigerian, fighting for entity that he wanted to succeed from. The Igbo man never did it. You can see what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going through at this moment. You can see what Odumegwu Ojukwu went through. The Igbo man never gave it. So, to an extent now, but thank God for this not an era of, waiting when the Western media are going to monopolize our brain, are going to envelop our thinking and our sentiment and reasoning and who we are and destroy our identity. The Igbo unification agenda has continued. And you begin to hear people from Ogoja artists telling you the story. We are going to ascertain anything that has brought this disunification, either by omission or by commission, will be stopped. The Yoruba man has no business in the Edo Kingdom, which is the present day Edo now. Because the Oromiya they are talking about does not come from there. He invaded the Edo Kingdom, which the Igbo people have never done. The only thing they did was to stop British invasion for 35 years. They fought the British. And that was where the sentiment of Igbophobia, the hatred for the Igbo people, continued, started, originated. When Chukuma Kaduna Nzogu, as they believed to have been an Igbo coup, which was not caused by the Yorubas, we saw what happened when Awolowo was released. He turned against, even to an extent, as if he were protected. Michael Akpola was here in the western part of the country to advocate for Awolowo not to be taken to the northern prison. That he will be more safer in the southern part of the country. And that is what the likes of M.I. Obala them did as at that time. But at the end of the day, it was used as a weapon against the Igbo people. That, of course, led to the Biafra War. It was the Yoruba people that caused the Nigerian Biafra War. But nobody wants to tell you that. So this is just the reality on ground, and the call is ongoing. The unification is necessary because it will bring about, a significant referendum and expand the Igbo people and make them look the way they're supposed to look, or who they are, where they are, how they have been, their culture and tradition. Nobody can be able to say no anymore. If you feel that you are not part and you will never be part, then what is happening in Israel will happen to you. Sudan have agreed to take up anybody there that is called Palestine. They should come bring them to Sudan. That's what will happen. Because according to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we can never cede any of our territory to anybody, irrespective who is behind it. These are the truths the likes of Goodluck Jonathan supposed to know. But unfortunately, you can see the revelation that PDP and APC is not a political party. It is a terrorist organization. They have gone to an extent, or even imposing political conquest on the entire Biafran land. And that is what we are seeing today. If you had come from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they would have said, is it? But you can trust a Canadian court to have done that. We must take up this responsibility. The Igbos in Ondo should take up that responsibility. Igbo is the umbrella that houses over 250 ethnic dialects. If you go to some states today,
in Benue State,
in Biafra land, just one state for instance, you have multiple languages. Then how come an Ijoma will say is it? And when it was the Ekumeku War, the Igbos defended them. When it was a Chukwumanzogu something, the Igbo defended them. The Igbos in Benue, the Igbos in Kogi,
Cross River, should understand this very clearly. And what I'm saying in this is it has come to that point of reality because the decision of the Western world, the global world, we don't know what it is going to result any time from now because we are hearing very clearly, that a lot of things were being discussed as a result of Trump, Putin visit, meeting, conference in Alaska. A lot of things are being factored in currently now. And the Sahel states that have pulled out from ECOWAS and AU has decided to align with the reality on ground. The Russian president himself understands what Biafra represents at the end of the day. Thank you.